we reveal who our human representative is. The first person going up against Thor is none other than...
John Lennon.
John Lennon! Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh, the God of Magic Michaels, and today, as always, I am joined by...
Megan Heavenly Perrine.
Cody the Elder Decker.
Oh, okay, cool. What are you the god of?
Just regret.
Wait, you're elder. It shouldn't.
No, he said it. No, he's the elder. He said it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's just more suited to.
Oh,
No,
that's
not.
a fair point.
No.
Yeah.
I think we should redo.
No. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about Volume 1 of A Record of Ragnarok. We got a lot of requests to do it in our comments and on our live show, which if you were there for our live show, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast, and we want to do more live shows in the future.
Yeah, we had a great time. So much fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you, Cody, for your addition to that conversation so much. I appreciate you. Record of Ragnarok. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about it. A little peek behind the volume uncurtain. We don't really discuss sort of our thoughts on the series until we hit record.
Depends.
I mean,
it really depends. If I'm too excited, I will message.
Spoil the series, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
no.
you
Okay, I did it once.
We won't go into it. You get the 20. We won't go into it.
You're going to get my fucking wrath today, Cody.
And we don't want your wrath. No.
No.
Nobody wants
No
your
one
wrath.
wants that.
Yeah.
So let's tone it down a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Record of Ragnarok is basically the synopsis. I'm going to give you my own little synopsis. It's basically a series. I actually have something written down. I'm going to read it. It's every 1,000 years, the gods' council assemble to decide the fate of humanity. After 7 million years of humanity's history, the gods have come to the decision that humans are irredeemable and must be extinct. Yeah.
Us? No.
Yeah. Well, maybe some of us. Yeah. Yeah.
What about our former president?
Oh, too true, Megan.
Too true, Megan. You got
My
it.
hands are sweaty
You
as
got it.
always.
Now, Cody, you, upon just kind of knowing what this was about, gods and all that, you weren't super excited about reading this
I
series.
went in not excited to read it at all, and I ended up loving it almost immediately.
Wow. Megan, how did you feel?
I feel the exact same way. I felt the exact same way. This
was-
manga don't fucking mess around.
I was smiling almost the entire time, like
Yeah.
open mouth, just like, this is so fun.
What?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, all right, they know exactly what they're doing. This is immortal combat.
That's what it felt
It's
like.
Immortal Combat, dude. Wow. Maybe that's the name of the episode. So early, too.
So
Into the
early.
Look, I got to be real with you guys. This series hooked me at the very end. At the buzzer. At the buzzer. Yeah, you guys had two different O reactions. It hooked me at the buzzer, dude. I got to say, based on
You weren't on board
the
at the
first couple
beginning?
chapters, I was not into it.
Wow, really?
And it's for a couple of reasons that I will go into. The first reason being that, first of all, it's getting an anime adaptation in June. June of this year by Netflix.
Check out the trailer, guys. It's fucking phenomenal.
I think the trailer helped me a lot going in, because that trailer, like, once the song really kicks off, you're like, this is just fun.
I agree.
The song was so cool. The animation looks really good. I probably should have watched the trailer to get an idea for the tone of the manga before I read the manga.
I did. I watched the that might have colored a lot of my. But like I immediately was like on board for because they cut to the chase. There's not like a build up to it.
And it's in like the first chapter. You already have story, you have characters, you have what they're going to be doing. Like, it's not dancing around shit. It's like, this is what the story is, and if you don't like it, get the fuck out.
And reading it anytime I was like, well, why is that? In the next chapter, they'll be like, well, this is why. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, man, I can't wait to find this. And they're like, and here's what's going to happen here. I'm like, all right, guys, this is just like, they're like, here's the show.
Yeah.
Like, come watch it. Like, I'm so excited for the anime, but I'll probably read the manga before.
Yeah, I'm excited for the anime, having seen the trailer, but like I said, and it had to do a lot with, I think, my reading experience, because for whatever reason, this series
My
has
reading experience. Okay.
my experience while reading the manga.
Oh, I thought you meant like you're like above it, like you're
no.
a god or something.
I mean, the god of magic. Nice to meet you. It's because this series does not have an official English translation yet, And so, unfortunately, the only way to read it was through fan translations, which, for the most part, were really good. However,
it was a pretty clear reading. It's like, all right, well, this isn't what they said. But like watching the trailers, like they weren't that far off.
No, they weren't far off. I was more completely and utterly bothered by the fact that the amount of ads I was encountering on every single site I was reading this manga on almost completely ruined the experience for me. Because
not the manga's fault.
It's not the manga's fault, but what, Megan?
I have ad blocker, so maybe that's
Oh yeah, I use a thing. You
don't use the ad blocker?
I have a tablet, and it didn't block the ads.
You're a fucking noob then.
Okay, I'm not a noob. I'm pretty savvy.
You're a noob, and you're a scrub.
I ain't no scrub.
To be clear, you are a scrub and a noob. But I think.
Thank you, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, and Beyonce doesn't. Pleb.
Oh, there's so many names for you. We can't keep track. But continue, Cody.
I mean, so like,
yes, please, Cody,
your issue with the ads was clouding your enjoyment?
No, truthfully though, this.
Or did it not hook you immediately?
It was I think it was a combination of everything, right? Like maybe had I read this manga without all these ads, it would have been a different experience. But it was that mixed with the fact that to me, especially in the first chapter, look, like I said, I came around to this story. Now I'm super in, I'm hooked, I'm invested because of specifically the last panel, which we'll talk about later. But it was also because the panels in the first chapter, it was so much. They felt very busy to me. Like there was so much crammed into every panel, which we've talked about before when we've talked about previous series and how sometimes that could be a really good thing and how there's all this detail in the backgrounds. But it almost made it for me really hard to tell kind of what was happening, especially because we're getting a lot of interpretations of these gods. And so I don't really know what I'm seeing yet.
I kind of like that, and I think it was maybe done purposefully because you feel so like overwhelmed at like just the whole scope of it, like all of the gods in one place, the whole meeting, like everything that's going on. It's very busy for a reason because you're like sitting in on this council meeting and you don't know what the fuck's happening. I think that was I like that. Usually I don't like that when I can't, like for fight scenes in general. I'm just like, okay, what the fuck's going on? But I like that part about it. Yeah. Which it's funny that you brought that up because I'm like, oh yeah, I did
feel really overwhelmed. I loved the reimagining of these gods. I thought they looked really cool. I thought they were given a lot. They were kind of shown in a way that I had never seen them before, especially with Thor and Thor's hammer, and even Zeus and what his ability was. Especially when, this isn't like a huge spoiler, but when we meet him in the first chapter and when he has that interaction with that dragon. There were things I really liked, but I just felt like I was overloaded at once. That on top of the translation, that on top of the ads, that on top, it was just like an accumulation of everything to the point where I was getting stressed out.
You were over Odin.
Okay, I mean, sure.
No, you guys didn't like that?
I don't get it. What do you mean over?
You overloaded over Odin? He's a god?
I get the Odin thing.
Fuck you guys, honestly.
Oh, you want me to fake laugh?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good one, Megan.
God.
No, I liked it immediately. Like the art style seemed like, I mean, that's what they were going for. I didn't get a sense of overcrowded or too much detail at all. I mean, the art was good. I mean, I also don't have an eye for art, but I don't.
And I don't mean too much detail either, but I just felt like overcrowded is maybe a better way to say it than too much detail. And the art style was really cool. I really liked the art style. I loved the characters.
I have one issue, and that is I was waiting for my boy Prometheus to put his 2 cents in, because it's like, all right, sure, I get these gods being anti-human, but like, come on, where's Prometheus? Where's our guy?
Yeah.
I was waiting, and I was like, okay, but he's not, because I was like, all right, we're gonna get 1 vote for pro-human, and we did.
Nah, they said fuck those guys, huh?
That brings me to a question that I wanted to ask you guys, because you guys know how I feel about learning when I'm reading. Okay, and what I liked about this series is it wasn't trying to teach at me. It was letting me experience these characters for who they were through these fights and stuff and through their personality based on their character design. But what was your knowledge of like gods and mythology before going into this? And do you think that, obviously the answer is you don't have to know anything about gods and mythology before reading this, but do you think it would have made your experience better had you known a little bit more?
I mean, I knew a fair amount of stuff about mythology, and I'm like, I don't think any of that is true with Thor.
Yeah, I mean, they really took some liberties with
Thor.
Thor
specifically fought against Ragnarok.
Yeah. And that hammer. Oh my god.
And I'm like,
It's not even a hammer at this point. I don't even know what that
it's
is.
a building.
Yeah.
I'll believe that, like, sure, his hammer can do that, that reveal at the end, but I'm like, I don't think, like, I've never heard about that aspect of his hammer.
Yeah.
Well, it's just this manga in general. We're gonna probably just see more and more of that. Just like we're gonna take this to like the 10th power. Like it's just gonna be so over craziness. Like that shouldn't be a thing, but it's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do a little bit of research because the human character, the human representative, the vanguard that we get introduced to in the very beginning, I didn't really know who he was. So I just wondered if that would have had a little bit more weight, if I would have been more brushed up on my history, I guess. Because when they introduced this guy, I was like, okay, who's that?
Yeah, it was like, oh, man, I really should know who that guy is. But then they explain who he is, so it's not like...
And I did a little bit of, I did a little book report, and I have some details about that guy's life that we can talk about more when we get to him specifically. But a lot of, obviously it's an exaggerated truth, but a lot of what they were saying is at least historically kind of true. And even going back and reading up on this guy, a lot of historians are saying that his life has been fictionalized throughout history. It's really hard to tell what's real and what's not with this guy, which maybe is another reason why he's chosen to be the first guy that we meet. But because of people that we will meet later on, it was just an interesting decision for them to go with a more historically ambiguous figure as opposed to, or maybe he's ambiguous to me just because of like, having a Western, upbringing as opposed to maybe having, because he's a what is he? He's a Chinese warlord or general and warlord. So I had never really heard about him or learned about him. So because they really build it up too. When he's coming out of the gate, they really build it up. And then the reveal was a little undercut by like me not knowing anything about him.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of because there is, who's going to be in. So like when I read, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy. I was just like, okay, I know for sure going in, I'm going to know about those people. And I guess I'm going to find out about those people. Yeah. I didn't get a sense of like, well, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into it a little bit then. Volume 1, we meet the Valkyrie, and we see the Council of the Gods. And again, this is where we're meeting a lot of the gods. We're meeting Zeus, we're meeting Odin, we're meeting Aphrodite.
Aphrodite. What a boss move.
So
like,
cool.
My boobs are so huge, I need 2 men to hold them up.
Human bras.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Good for her, honestly. Those things look heavy.
Yeah, they look very heavy.
Yeah, so that's probably a necessity.
Yeah, props to her. And, actually I want to go back and rewrite history and have her just portrayed like that in history books.
It did remind me of the goddess in Dark Souls.
I couldn't tell you now.
It's a very dark game, but you meet the goddess.
Is that why it's called Dark Souls, Cody? No shit, it's dark.
Yeah. She has like very large, breasts, and the director said like I didn't want that, but when the artist like showed me his drawing, he looked so happy. I didn't have the heart to tell him to dial it down.
Wow.
So like it's like pretty out of place in the series.
Well, no one was telling whoever drew this to dial it down.
Absolutely
no, dial it up.
Yeah, they dialed it way
up.
Yeah, she literally has two, I guess, I don't know, slaves holding her breasts. And she's sitting on one as a throne.
I mean,
servants, followers.
Or she just asked anyone.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean,
pick me, my lord.
Yep, I volunteer as tribute.
Okay.
But and like I said, the reimagining of these gods were really cool because we've seen them so many times. We've seen them in even Marvel. They did their old gods sort of thing. We've seen them in all types of history books when we had to read the Iliad and the Odyssey and Beowulf and all. We've seen like, I don't know. It was cool to see like a fresh take on these old gods.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot.
Yeah, the story like it opens on like they're like, all right, every 1,000 years we have this vote. How we all feeling, gang? And it's just everyone's like, the goddess of beauty is like they're ruining everything.
Yeah, we're over them.
We're completely done with this.
It's done.
Yeah.
And it's like out. Everyone has pieces of paper. They're like X, 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 and he's like, okay, well, that's it. And then we have what's her name? Beelzebub. No, her name is not.
Who?
The Valkyrie.
The Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, I forget her name, but she has like it's like Broomhilda. It's not that, but it like every time I read it, I heard that
Broomhilda.
name. It's like Brunhild.
Brunhide.
I think for some reason I read it as Hild, the last part.
Brunhild.
But she is her like banter in volume 1 with the Valkyrie and training the little sister was so funny, dude.
Yeah, the little sister just stressing the fuck out. She's like, she's like, what are you doing? She's like, shut the fuck up, I got this.
And she was a badass too.
Badass.
She's got a little Lady Satsuki vibe to her.
Totally.
You know what I mean? She's got that like, she's got that presence, that power. But also, it was interesting to find out too that she's doing what she's doing, scheming, plotting, because of the Valkyrie's relationship to mankind.
Yeah, like they specifically their entire existence is to help humans, like in the afterlife. Yeah, so I'm like, all right, now my boy Prometheus is gonna pop in.
You really wanted him to show up.
Well, it's like that's the guy. Like if there's any god to root for, it's Prometheus. Like whatever your beliefs are, like he's the guy. Fire, man, come on.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for him.
Yeah, and he was no sight of him in volume 1 at all.
Yeah, so if I had to give a criticism,
it'd be that
old Prothy ain't around.
Wow, what a terrible nickname.
Prothy. I like it.
Watch him immediately change his mind now.
Yeah, he said Prothy.
Kind of good.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Wishy-washy, Joshy.
I'm just kidding. It's bad.
No, Prothy.
Oh, now I like it. But yeah, so the council decides that humanity is no longer allowed to exist. They're going to be put out, and the Valkyrie has this idea to not only she's trying to stop it, but I think her way of stopping it is by kind of toying with them and saying like, instead of just making them
I agree. We should kill them, but wouldn't it be more entertaining?
Yeah.
I mean, we're boring. It's boring up here. What we should do is like a tournament.
Yeah.
To
They're
determine
like, what?
Which is that really what Ragnarok is?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
No, that's why it's like, all right, these aren't like accurate depictions of these gods, but it is like, here's the gist. Here's a funny version of this god, and they're gonna funny version of this god. And Ragnarok is like that is the end of the world, but that also involves like snakes and stuff. And that doesn't involve a tournament of man versus god.
Yeah,
which is what she proposes.
Yeah. Now I don't, because it did a little bit, and I know I might get some shit for this, but this is just kind of how I felt. It was a better version of God of High School, I think. Because
I could see that.
It's like a tournament out of the gate. It's like fighting out of the gate, and you're meeting all these cool people who fight with all these different styles out of the gate. But I know that when we watched that, you guys did not like that.
No,
I don't even remember seeing that.
No, it's just
you watched the first episode.
I did not like it.
I believe you, but I genuinely
yeah.
That's what I wrote. It's like God of High School, a little bit of Hunter x Hunter, just like the battle type of stuff, and then I put 7 Deadly Sins. It kind of reminded me of just like crazy power-ups, crazy abilities, stuff like that, and they have gods and demons involved, so kind of reminded me of that too.
Yeah.
But yeah. I like this way more than God of High School.
No, me
way
too.
more entertaining.
Yeah, me too.
It was when she calls them cowards.
Yeah.
What are you scared?
And all the gods are like, no,
no, you dumb Valkyrie.
That's what I was like. All right, we're having fun here. That's what this manga is. It's a fun fighting thing.
Yeah, and like the humor lands, and it's so nicely done throughout the story. Like it never really takes itself too seriously.
Yeah,
like
no, for
I
real,
really like it.
Yeah, it never takes itself too seriously, and you can tell that too from that moment where right after Valkyrie suggests that they have that tournament, Zeus in like some sort of weird power move has this dragon, and he like what's really cool about it is that he looks like this frail old man, and then all of a sudden all of his muscles just go into one arm and make this one giant arm, and he just rips the nose off of
That was pretty sad.
Dragon.
Yeah,
I was like, why did he have to do that?
A little unnecessary.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the gods. What can you do?
Zeus is famously one of the biggest asshole gods.
Yeah,
he really is.
Yeah. He's the worst.
Yeah, and he was coming down and getting freaky with the human
a
women
lot.
too. Yeah.
Thousands, millions, maybe.
Yeah.
So many kids, so many bastards.
Yeah, that's crazy because you probably have met someone who was like the descendant of Zeus, like just statistically.
Yeah, statistically, 1 in 3 people know a Zeus.
A Zeus bastard.
A Zeus bastard. Yeah. But yeah, and it's pretty straightforward. That's pretty much the first chapter, and then we get a little behind the scenes after that with the sister talking to Valkyrie.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like it's a human versus a god. God wins every time.
And she has a little trick up her sleeve, which she doesn't reveal until like towards the very
which
end.
was
which
awesome.
will be the spoiler mark.
Which was probably the spoiler mark.
That was really, really nice touch.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, now we're getting into it.
That was part of the writing. Like the way it was paced was like the second I was like, now hold on.
Yeah.
They would be like, and here's why. I'm like, okay, you son of a bitch. All right, keep
you
going.
son of a bitch, you got
All right, keep going. Yeah. I thought it was really cool too how basically we get this peek behind the curtain of what's really happening. She's not letting on too much. And then she comes across, she kind of knows who the gods are going to pick as their vanguard. Representative. And she actually has an encounter with this person pretty early on into the series. And that person is the god of thunder himself, Thor.
Thor's hammer.
Who looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, he doesn't look like, what's his face?
This ain't Chris Hemme.
This ain't Chris Hemme. I wish it would, but it's not.
I mean, I don't know. He kind of reminds me of.
I need to get a spray bottle.
Yeah.
I bought one. I keep forgetting.
Oh, you really bought a spray bottle for Megan?
I got it for Megan. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They has
It's
this
purple.
bit where every time
Every
time I express my interest in a man, he wants to spray me in the face. Isn't that a way to silence women, huh?
Wow.
It will be once I bring the spray bottle.
No, I do get a little carried away. Sometimes,
but yeah, if anybody's gunning for my heart, it's Thor in this series.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
The Valkyrie?
I mean, as far as like looks go, I'm a pretty shallow guy.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, we're talking about looks. I thought you meant like as a character.
Yeah, no, not as a character.
Oh, okay.
But also, his hammer does not look like a hammer at all.
No, it is a giant T.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a giant T.
That is not a tool in any way, shape, or form. That is just a thing on its own.
Yeah, dude. What's the T?
It's a
Okay.
T with like a smaller handle in it because the actual handle itself is so wide. But he has a carved out handle within the handle for him to hold it. It's a whole thing. It makes no sense ergonomically. It's not very.
It's like he's
efficient.
compensating for something. Am I right?
So is Guts then too for his big sword?
No.
Then why Thor? You have to
because
judge
that's
people
like
across the board.
insane. Like Guts is like, I'm gonna show you my stuff,
Mm.
and it's gonna like equal to my stuff.
And what's Thor like?
Those like.
Thor's like, no, don't look. Keep looking at my hand.
Yeah. Look at the lightning.
Yeah.
Look at the
Distraction.
lightning.
You're
Distraction.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, look at the fireworks. Don't look down
Yeah.
there.
Don't look down there.
Please
don't, or I'll kill you.
Yeah, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Speaking of killing people,
Oh.
boy, does he fucking wipe someone out right away.
I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Was that another god, by the way? I think
Yeah, it was
was
another
a
god.
demigod or
Oh,
like,
it was a succubus.
Incubus.
Incubus.
Succubus.
Yeah.
It was an incubus. Thank you.
I mean, it's not like a huge. It's just succubus are women, incubus are men.
Yeah.
Generally, like he was a dream/sex demon. That's what.
Yeah, and he was like trying to get at her too, and I was like, bro, you need to chill, and I'm glad he died.
And you see that
Yeah.
like demigods are like looked down on in the god hierarchy. So there is like a.
Yeah, they're like, what are you talking about? Half god? They're all talking shit about her, and it's just like.
And there's this really cool moment they play with this moment where she looks like she's bowing to him. And she's like, oh, and he, of course, gets cocky. And she says, oh, I'm not bowing. I'm, getting out of the way of what's about to happen.
Bowing out.
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
bowing
situation.
out. And then he fucking torso up gets ripped apart, guts flying everywhere from Thor's, not a hammer, but hammer. And that's what they have this dialogue. And, you kind of get a feel for their relationship a little bit. Because at least from what I'm familiar with, the Valkyrie and Thor are part of Norse mythology. And so, because what I like about this series as well, too, is it's not just, it's like Greek mythology, it's Norse mythology,
Hinduism.
It's Hindu. Yeah, it's like every god from every religion, from every time is sort of represented. And I really like that as well. But it's also funny because their relationship, I thought that they were on the same team, but they're not, and he does not really know what she's up to, but he's also like entertained. I think he's like, I'm gonna let you kind of do whatever you want to do.
What the fuck are they doing up there? They're just talking shit. They're like, this is like the best thing that's ever happened to them ever.
Yeah.
We're just gonna beat up a couple people and then wipe out humanity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but then what are they gonna
This
do
is the
after
appetizer.
that? But then they're gonna have no playthings to play with anymore.
Well, what does anyone do when they're done living out their passion?
I guess they just sort of fade away.
God damn.
Wow.
Got a little too.
You
deep.
asked. What did you?
They want us to get deep on the podcast,
Oh yeah, people want us to get deep.
so we're gonna get deep.
This is about. Oh fuck.
If you really think about gods, I'm kidding.
No,
what
go
are
ahead.
gods but extensions of the human will?
What are gods of, we've created them.
A man-made construct.
Man-made construct that we, sort our lives to for
Maybe-
just meaning and,
yeah.
and morals, but
That's so true.
I know.
Maybe gods are all. Maybe we're all gods,
Maybe we're all gods of our own future.
and we're all God.
What if we're all gods but God is a woman?
What if we're
Whoa.
a dog? God spelled backwards.
Then I'm out. Then
Yeah,
I'm
that's
then I'm
that's
clocking
just silly.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But then after that, we move on. There's some more dialogue between the sisters, which I think, again, I really liked. And then we're pretty much taken right into the fight. I think the first chapter is all about the meeting, and then there's a little dialogue with Thor after that. But then chapter 2, we're in the fight.
And
Yeah,
can we just? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you
can
had a
go.
lot of steam behind what you were saying,
Yeah.
and I like
I just want to talk about like the faces already, like just like the over exaggerated. Like I think at one point later, I can literally later on, she's like reading something and she's like her face is completely
yeah.
scary, and I was like, oh, that was so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're really well done, super cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, the art style is really well done.
And they have that in the anime like trailer.
Yes.
Like they put that in there, so I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
Has to be so good. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
So I was like having like fun like reading it, but because there isn't like I was expecting like, okay, it's gonna take a while to build up to the first fight. And
Yeah.
they're gonna like have a meeting where they're gonna discuss like, oh, we must consult with this person. But they just like portal opens and like the human army comes in with like a shit talking rant about why humans rule, and that's when I was just smiling, just
Yeah.
reading this like, all right, this is great.
So
Just being like
entertaining.
7 million years humanity represent. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is exactly how humans will roll into Ragnarok. Where they're like, you have to fight a god, and they're like, you ain't got shit.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
I'd
what-
love to
yeah.
be there.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, dude,
Holy
front and
shit.
center.
I wouldn't want to be front and center because you might die. I'd want to be like in the bleachers or like in the nosebleeds.
Nah, they'd have some sort of protection shield or something.
I don't think they care that much about humans.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I also like how we said the gods are represented by all sorts of religions and sort of time periods. The humans are also. There's a scene where she's like, okay, I know who they're gonna pick to send in first. I gotta get my team together, my squad, and so she
Squad
kind of,
gang, squad up.
she shows this projection from this device that she has, and it's all these historic figures. I think Albert Einstein is even one of
Yeah,
them.
it was like John Lennon. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
let's not get crazy. He's
Yeah.
the biggest one on the front page. I was like,
trying to
what is
sell
he gonna
manga,
do?
I think.
Hey, I want to defeat the gods,
There
right?
you go. That's a
I'm
little
one of the
wacko too
Beatles.
from Animaniacs.
Oh, my name's Wacko.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. But yeah, and so that did not give away what happens later. Although in that moment, I was thinking to myself, "Oh, that's kind of cool that they can pick and choose, from throughout
dead,
history."
alive,
Exactly.
which was fucking dope.
You're given 7 million years of humanity. Pick 13
Yes.
champions.
Hell yeah. I was like, this
Yes.
is it. It's not just
This-
alive people. Like, come on.
This is what made it interesting to me. Because before I was like, okay, we're going to get, people who are alive now and they're going to be completely fictional people. I can get behind that. But the fact that they're like all seeming to be based on real people and you can get them from any point in history, dead or alive, that's where I'm hooked.
Choose
That's where-
your fighter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so now I'm starting. Now I'm
agreed to that.
starting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
slowly get into it, and we see the arena. We have our open mic present from like My Hero,
Yeah.
Hemdall, who is
Yeah, I like how like it's. I mean, it's not like complete like accurate adaptions of these characters, but it is like, yeah, Heimdall would be funny to be the representative. Like that makes sense for him to be it. Like I don't think that's what he does, but yeah, like it's just they're having fun with it. They're not trying to be like this is Heimdall
yeah.
incarnate.
Yeah.
And present mic. I meant to say present mic,
Yeah,
not open
yeah.
mic.
And
That
I love.
I had to retract that statement.
Yeah, hero open mic.
Oh, they could call him the bomber.
The
Oh,
bomber.
that sounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like how they played with these characters too. Yeah, he'd be a good person to be the announcer for these matches, and Thor comes in being a badass, and then we're introduced to the human representative. And like I said, they really amp this up. They really, he comes in at first, they're giving this long speech about why he's this perfect representative, how he was the most ruthless and the most just evil and strongest and all these things. And then they show the horse come in, and then they show the smoke.
Giant horse, by the way. Huge horse. I was like, how big is that? He's like fucking massive.
Oh, he's got to go up against that massive hammer.
It's a big horse, yeah.
Yeah, big horse, big. They say big horse, big hammer.
They do say that. A lot of people say that. To the point where I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I'm a little over it too. I don't even know.
Like,
I might
enough
cut
with the
that out.
hashtags already.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it
Oh
out.
my God.
And then we get the reveal that the human representative, and this is not the spoiler, I don't think, who the representative for humanity is.
No, we're still in the first chapter, I believe.
No, this is chapter 2.
Chapter 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, but this story does it doesn't really have any all right, well let's get through this exposition. It's just sort of like we're gonna do this fight, and I'm like, all right, what is it gonna be? And what is gonna start at the end? Like, and we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
And I've heard that that's literally just how it fucking goes with this manga. Like, it's never like, okay, we're gonna have filler fight it's just like, this is the fight. This is the next fight. This is the next fight. This is the next fight, which is super dope.
Which again goes back to the question. I don't mean to get sidetracked, but it goes back to the question: why has this not had an official English translation yet? Why is there an anime being adapted by Netflix?
Well,
why are so many people in love with the series and it hasn't been officially translated?
Well, I mean, they give a pretty hard limit on how long this story can last. So like, I because like what I like about it is you can jump into this knowing that like, look, it will end.
Yeah.
And you have a pretty solid timer on how long this manga will go on for.
Well, right now it's currently at, as of recording this, 10 volumes. But I think there's a
that
couple...
sounds appropriate for the rules that were set.
Megan, can I help you?
I'm just staring at Cody. I'm like
Wow,
talking,
okay.
I'm talking
I get
to him,
it. I get
and
it.
he keeps like adjusting the beard, and I'm like forgetting that he's wearing it. I'm just like,
And now you see why he should have never shaved it in the first place.
It's just really good.
I'm not going back
sorry.
to a beard. It's not happening.
Could you grow one that long though?
I absolutely could. Yeah, I have to like cut my sideburns every 2 weeks with like scissors.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just got really overwhelmed. It's
No, I
very
get it.
funny.
Maybe I
react the
should
same
grow a
way.
beard then.
Yeah. It does incite a reaction out of
Yeah,
people.
no, I'm not getting a beard.
Dang.
Anyway.
On the record of Ragnarok, everyone. He's not
there
getting
we
a
go,
beard.
Megan.
Let that be on record.
Yeah. But then we reveal who our human representative is. The first person going up against Thor is none other than...
John Lennon.
John Lennon! Albert Einstein. It's actually, that would have been so fucking funny if they would have done that. But it's Lu Bu.
Lu Bu?
Lu Bu.
More like who?
Yeah, more like who?
I don't
more
know.
like
Who that.
For You By You? Fubu? But yeah, Lu Bu is a real historical figure, and I have some information that I pulled off the web about this gentleman. And like I said, they're on record saying that his life has been fictionalized. They don't know what's real and what's not. But yes, he was a military general and warlord who lived during the late Eastern Han Dynasty of Imperial China. And then
China?
China?
Yeah, he murdered a bunch of dictators, defeated a bunch of other warlords.
Cool.
Yeah, he like backstabbed a lot of people. This is all like historical. He backstabbed a lot of people, double-crossed a lot of people. Yes, he can. He seized control of a lot of provinces. But what I thought was really interesting.
Provinces.
Yes.
My God.
Oh dear. And he what I thought was
dinner.
oh don't go back to
Oh dear,
it.
more like Oden. More like D's nuts.
Okay, Megan.
That honestly was pretty good.
The
was
more,
solid.
yeah,
And
that's how you know it's good when not when you laugh, but when you say that was pretty good.
Well, because I'm appreciating it. Like I'm appreciating it so much I can't laugh.
Right.
Odin, that's great. What you're insane.
It is pretty good. I do like it.
Wishy-washy, Joshy.
But here's the most interesting thing that I pulled was that although Lu Bu is described in historical and fictional sources as an exceptionally mighty warrior, he was also notorious for his temperamental behavior. He switched alliances erratically and freely betrayed his allies. He was noted for his poor planning and management skills.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was this former president Donald J. Trump? Was that...
And you got him. He was always suspicious of others. And he could not control his subordinates. All these factors ultimately led to his downfall in the 14th century historical novel, blah, 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 blah.
Can I see this?
Yeah.
Oh, it said that. It also says that he fucked at the end of that.
Oh, no, it kind of does. It kind of does. Including his romance with the maiden something something, or added to portray him as a unchallenged warrior who was also a ruthless and impulsive brute.
And
they did talk about how he
here and he fucks.
No, but he does kind of say that. Because, I mean, if you're going to be that, that strong, you're going to fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Word's going to get around.
Word's going to get around?
Yeah. And people are going to want to fuck.
Yeah.
But I thought that was super interesting, that this is an actual person who was actually a pretty strong, leader, dictator, ruler, warlord type guy. So, maybe take a note, Dr. Stone. If you're going to try to learn me right.
Learn me?
Yeah. If you're gonna,
you teach me?
Yeah. No,
you're trying to learn me.
Yeah, if you're going to try to learn me right. Because I went out of my way to learn a little bit about Mr. Boo instead of having it thrown at me in the... Oh, you got to take the beard off.
Aww.
You wore it longer than I expected.
Yeah, good job.
I got concerned because I think this is made out of plastic, and I don't...
Are you getting hairs in your mouth?
Yeah, I don't want... That's a carcinogen.
Okay, well, nerd alert.
They cause tumors, so...
Oh, and that's a sensitive subject. I apologize. So yeah, I mean, it was a really cool way for me to learn about somebody without it feeling like it was being shoved down my throat like the hairs that are down Cody's throat.
Well, they kind of gave a little story about him, and he talked about, he's never found anyone that he found really worth his time. Everyone was kind of just going and coming, and he's just like, bro, I'm the fucking strongest. What are you guys gonna do? People just ended up following him because he was so strong and didn't really care about them, and I kind of like that little tidbit.
It was great.
Cody, it's not that bad. It's a few little hairs, dude.
Plastic. That's so bad.
I've accidentally ate plastic on many occasions.
And look at you. Literally look at you.
I am looking at me.
Through the eyes of you.
Yeah, I am looking at me through the eyes of you.
It's all over the mic.
And I see before me a friend. Well,
except after C.
Okay.
You.
Later.
But
yeah,
we're talking about Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. My point is, we're still talking about it.
Ragnarok?
My point is that it didn't feel like it was trying to shove history down my throat, and I like that.
It was it's a fun way to like, and also I like that who would be the 13 champions? Like, I've never heard of that guy. Yeah, I mean, it's 7 million years. One of them probably, not all of them I'm going to be taught to
know about. Yeah, I looked at the list. I was like, yeah, like you said, I know you, I know you, and I know you. And I'm a little confused about you.
I'm a little confused about a lot of those people.
I'm a little confused about one person.
That's a spoiler mark, I think, for
the
sure.
one that would be an issue, I'm like, I don't think they belong there, but I am for that.
I understand. We'll talk about it, but
stay tuned for this conversation to keep going.
Stay tuned, because like I said, this is the panel that really got, I mean, I was already starting to get a little bit. And then at the very end is when I was like, okay, all right.
How many chapters was the first volume?
4, but technically 5.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What the fuck? Because there was chapter 3.5. Which
was not a 0.5 chapter. It was
a full chapter.
Yeah.
And it also really didn't need to be in there. It was just a little backstory about Thor. It was just a little side story. All it was a way to show you how strong Thor was. But it's also no shit. We all know Thor. I mean, show us more Lu Bu. Don't show us Thor.
Which does make sense for the pacing of it, if that being a 0.5, because that is the most, the story sort of goes off before it gets back to the action.
Goes off into the heavens a little bit there.
It does go off into the heavens a little bit there.
Yeah, it was on a stairway.
Wow.
Andy's back.
Okay. All right, moving right along.
He hates music, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Josh hates music.
I love music. I've dabbled. I've played. I have some songs that I've made
that you get to show me.
Yeah, you guys can check them out whenever you want.
We totally can. We can do a lot of things whenever we want.
Yeah, you can.
So yeah, they're gonna. I liked being casually like, oh, that's a Chinese word. I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
Which does highlight that some people are really out of place here.
Exactly. And that's exactly the point, is that some people like Lu Bu, you're like, I get it. this guy's gonna fuck shit up. But why? What are some of these other people gonna do?
But knowing what the real plan is, it gives it a new cut.
Yeah.
That's why
Boost.
for being such a straight up fun action thing, it does take care of a lot of plot issues for me. Almost the second I think of them, they will then go and also this, and I'm like, I can't think of any issues here.
Yeah. So, and to your point, what happens? The fight starts. Thor's got his giant ass skyscraper hammer. And, Lu Bu's got this spear. And the fight's about to start. Thor's throwing, everything he's got at him.
They do
Mjolnir's full of lightning.
They do the we're not going to use our weapons first standoff thing where they're both sort of
everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
Nani?
Yeah.
They're just going to fight?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they almost realize immediately that they're on equal footing as far as physical strength goes,
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
See, Mortal Kombat helped a lot with that because they in the DC Mortal Kombat crossover, they explain that the reason Joker can fight Scorpion or Superman can fight a magic user is in that realm their power got evenly distributed. So I was just I just assumed that was the reason is they both got the same amount of strength and now and then it was oh wow, well humans will just naturally know how to fight because
maybe it's when Superman goes back to Krypton, he's just a regular dude.
Yeah, then it's just a guy punching another guy.
Yeah.
Which I do like when the DC stories end on that note.
Yeah, I do like that as well.
It happens a lot too.
They're running out of stories over there at DC.
Green Lantern's fighting and their rings run out and they're
yeah.
Except for the one who has a gun on him and he pulls out a gun and he just shoots Sinestro.
Yeah, like I said, they really need writers.
More cheesy, am I right?
Yeah. Actually, it is more like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they're on. It's completely like that. They're on equal footing physically, and then they realize that they do need to use their weapons. Thor does this it breaks his back. Fucking leans all the way back in this over dramatic stance.
No one knows what, except
people thought he fell.
Yeah. People in the nose just I can't fucking.
They're Mjolnir's so heavy, he lost his balance.
Someone's no.
Yeah,
he's putting all his back into this final thingy he's gonna do.
Yeah, and he harnesses all this power, all this lightning, all these things, and he meets Lu Bu's spear. And it's blocked, it's negated, nothing really happens.
Dang.
And that's when Odin or Zeus or both of them
they kind of realize
start piecing it together.
They're that definitely does not add up.
That cannot work because it's a human made, anything would shatter.
Yes.
And they're wait a minute. And then
wait a
minute. Okay, and then who's the butler?
Oh yeah, who is
Zeus's butler? That looked like Sebastian from Black Butler. I was
Sebastian.
who the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if he was a god or
he is some sort of god.
It's probably Hermes or something.
No, you keep discussing. I need to figure it out.
Yeah, the tables are quickly turned on the gods and that's why they send in the most straight up fighter that I'm aware of. I don't recognize a lot of those names, but so they open with a warlord when they could have opened up with a smaller scale. Yes. But they specifically open up with someone who is very good at fighting.
It is Hermes.
It is Hermes. Cody gets a point.
Oh yeah, because Hermes is the messenger of the gods.
You do know a little bit about mythology.
I studied.
I only know it from Percy Jackson.
The Lightning Thief?
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal series.
It's a phenomenal series.
The
movie was bad. But it was a great book.
Especially because I was a kid when that came out too, so, because we're the same age and I liked it.
No, that didn't come out when you were a kid.
Yeah, it came out
you were a grown adult by that point.
I
was a child, you were a kid. I was a child,
you were watching children movies while she was
That's probably 100% true.
I
was an adult watching and reading kid shit. Still am an adult doing those things.
It turns out you can just sort of keep doing that.
And ain't nothing wrong with it.
All right.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I was 10. You were 20.
11. All right. But yes, and
Cody,
now
we were the same age. Yeah?
I'm 3 years older than you.
It's not a big difference.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a real personal.
I'm sorry,
now.
You're feeling the wrath of Megan Godsama.
Yeah.
So
get that headdress off her, dude. Get that little fucking.
Don't.
It's giving her all this power. She's turning into the goddess of being mean.
I don't want to be the goddess of being mean.
Mean Megan the goddess.
I won't be mean. I will be graceful and forgiving.
Cool.
Okay, you're a forgiving god.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
So I think this is the point where they reveal the Valkyrie's grand plan.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So mayhaps we receive some sort of notification
From the heavens, we need some sort of.
I pray thee.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
And like the blessings from the gods below or above. We can talk about it now.
We find out that the reason that Lubu's staff was able to parry Thor's hammer was because hit it with it, Cody. Go right ahead, do it, dude.
Oh, the Valkyries they become the weapons.
Yes, they can. They don't like necessarily possess weapons, right? They become weapons.
Yeah.
Very soul eater.
Yes. Are you familiar? Okay, we'll keep moving along. They turn into weapons, and they're able to be used by man. And this is because of the relationship that the Valkyrie have with man. Mm-hmm. They're in mythology, they take the strongest warriors and they guide them to Valhalla or whatever.
Or whatever. What do you mean? You just said what happened.
Or some bullshit like
whatever,
that. And Chuck E. Cheese, whatever. And
that'd be chill. You got Valkyrie or Valhalla or Chuck E. Cheese. What's it gonna be?
I'm going to the ball pit in the sky, dude.
We talked about this.
Yeah, but there's this rumor floating around that the Valkyrie's supposed to be escorting these warriors to heaven to create an army for the gods, but that it's actually an army that is now being turned against the gods. And everybody, I think even Zeus is a little like, okay, because they're both kind of aware that by having these weapons, the gods are sort of cheating. They have an upper hand. It's not just a fight based on physical strength. They have this other thing, and it's kind of not fair. So when Zeus and everybody realizes that they have these weapons that are Valkyrie, he kind of says to himself like, touche. Yeah. Touche.
Oh, something I thought was funny too was like during the fight, someone starts like praying for like
I like that.
And someone's just like, I mean, that's not the thing to do right now, man.
Read the room, bro.
Yeah. Come on, who do you praying to, buddy?
The gods you're praying to are the same gods that we're trying to defeat.
Oh.
Yeah. And the guy goes, all right, chill out.
Zeus
like,
was like, he was like, okay.
Over at the god, he's like,
fuck yeah. And he's like, sports arena. He's like, they're like, fuck yeah.
Or maybe he was like, dear God, please kill yourself.
They're like, gods, we hate you.
Yeah. Oh, they did have a
God,
little.
we hate you.
Dude, that's what you were saying about them being so hyped. They had the drum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could hear it.
Yeah, that's when I was like, I love this series already. That is so great. And I love the idea, too, of like just praying to their gods, and the gods just like constantly hearing it. And they're just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you fucking asshole. He's like, stop. Who's praying?
Yeah. And I don't think it's even at the end that... I don't even think by the end of Volume 1 we're given a clear victor.
The fight isn't over. Thor reveals his final form, which is, and I'm pretty sure they made this up.
Of the gloves?
First of all, the gloves.
All of it.
The gloves first.
Right.
And then the fact that his hammer is living.
I think they made that up too, maybe. But who knows? I mean, mythology is weird.
I mean, if it is, accurate, then fuck me. But
yeah.
I feel like I would have heard about that by now.
Yeah, because basically what we find out is there's this whole it's not technically heist writing kind of thing, but it was this moment of like we're led to believe that Thor is wearing these gloves to be able to control Mjolnir's strength and power. But then the gloves crumble, and then we're told actually the gloves were there so that Thor didn't wake Mjolnir up. Which I'm like, okay, how does one have to do with the other? Yeah, but okay. And the hammer is sort of starting to crack open, and we see what looks like sort of like intestines or some sort of brainy sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's like does exposing the flesh make it stronger?
I'm assuming it's some sort of shell.
Yeah, the hammer is a shell.
Yeah.
And he just swings it around, which doesn't wake it up.
No.
Exactly. That's my point. I'm like, okay, how did that not wake it up?
He's a heavy sleeper.
He's a heavy sleeper. And then at the very end, I'm not skipping anything, right? Before we get to the list.
Well, there was a cool moment, I think, between like Thor and what was his name? Lobo?
Yes.
When they're like really getting into it and he's like, "Hey, do me a favor. Don't die on me." And
Yeah.
he's like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so hype!"
Yeah, I mean,
because he just realizes like, "Oh, I have someone who's fucking my match right now. It's fucking dope."
And they're excited about it.
because
Thor's excited about it.
Lubu and Thor they both got. Oh yeah, Lubu in the 0.5 thing where they say that like, oh, and when he died begging for mercy, and they reveal that's not what happened. He died being like, I am so bored.
Yeah.
And then they show Thor was also so bored because he killed all the giants that attacked like easily after they like slaughtered like 100 people. So, like,
it's a little too late, bro.
Yeah, and he wasn't even really going out there
No.
to find them. He was waiting for them to come to him.
Yeah, and it was that story was actually pretty nice because it showed that like the gods in Asgard were sort of just like. It did show that, like, when the giants did come into attack, they were so unprepared for an actual fight by that point.
Yeah.
That they just got completely slaughtered. Kind of showing how, like, the gods, you know.
Yes. A little bit of a parallel, maybe foreshadowing.
Little Attack on Titan, too.
Little bit.
Very Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I was like,
bit.
what is this?
I think they did the same.
They did, yeah. They're all
the
like
wall
at the
was
wall.
the exact
All the
same.
Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That was, but all of the matchups, we'll talk about it. Like they're all like you're gonna see why they're matched up. Like I could already see it like in.
Okay.
You know.
Okay,
We can talk about that because
walk us through that because I can see how maybe some of them do, but not. Others.
I say we do as long as no one knows anything beyond volume. We do a betting poll at the end.
Oh, I like that.
What's the prize?
Yeah, what's the stakes? What are the prizes?
Can't be boba. Let's do something higher.
Because I wasn't gonna say that.
You literally were. I could see it on your face.
I was gonna say
barf.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Cody? I'm kind of a little worried at this point.
Bubble tea.
Bob's Big Boy.
There's
no. How about you bias? How about whoever gets more right, has to have the other two have to buy them food. That's fair.
Second place, they also get food, but like not as much.
Yeah, a kid's meal.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Megan, if you win though, like it's gonna be like
a normal meal for you is a kid's meal, so you'll get a side of fries or something.
Yeah. You like that?
Don't
Some fries?
disregard
Is that okay,
me
Megan?
like
You
that.
like that?
Some fries? Want some chicken nuggets?
I'm gonna order a buffet.
Yeah, Cody's been real excited about buffets, by the way.
I can't wait. And we're gonna go. It's gonna be so fun.
Okay, but we should take a bet. We should do a betting pool, and
I'm
then
down.
we'll discuss more the terms, and then we'll let you know what they are, and we'll post about it on our Instagram, or we'll post about it somewhere, and you can see the loser take us out, whoever that is, and we'll make a whole thing out of it. But so should we get to the list now? Because Valkyrie at some point
Does the fight end in Volume 1?
No, I think it's really around the time that we see Mjolnir wake up. And I think that's the end.
Because my only thing was oh man, I feel like I have to keep reading this, so I just want to know who's gonna fight. So like I was like, maybe I'll just look that up.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading it, they're like,
Here you
go, buddy. And I'm like, thanks, dude.
I literally go, and there's the lineup. There we go.
So sick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew what their audience wants, and they're giving it to them right away. And it's like a full 2-page spread. And we're given exactly what we want, and that is who is going to be competing on the God side and who's going to be competing on the human side.
Who are you guys most excited to see?
Okay, well, let me go through the list first.
I mean,
let me go through the list. I have the list pulled up right here. So, Valkyrie looks up the list, and she's kind of shocked, and I think that's where that face that she makes
I love
comes
that
from.
face.
Yeah, super. I mean, dramatic shading, dramatic
she
lighting.
looks scary.
Yeah,
Are we gonna
looks
give-
horrified.
She looks super terrifying.
We're gonna give each of our votes like as the list has gone through.
And we'll have it on record. So if someone is willing to help us out and to help us keep track of this,
I'll
then,
just keep track of my vote.
Okay. So first we have some of my other notifications are blocking the screen. First we have Zeus.
Way to brag about people talking to you.
It's a weather notification.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad. You didn't have to. You could have just said yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the benefit. That's the cool thing about living in California. Like, hey, don't breathe the air. By the way, you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been fooled too many times to think I'm actually getting some sort of message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not once, shame on me. To what you know the rest. So the first is Zeus versus and I'm gonna butcher this name. I apologize. Qin Shi Huang.
So by being first, that means it's the second fight.
I believe so. I believe that means either. Yeah, I
So
think that means Zeus is next, but Zeus would be last. I think.
Yeah,
He's at the top of the list.
All right. Well. First, who wins the first fight happening right now between Thor and Lubu? I'm going to guess that the humans have to win the first round.
Nah, I'm guessing it's gonna be Thor.
Really?
I guess it's gonna be Thor. Just a little. I don't know. I just have a feeling that the gods will win. They'll be like, "Oh no, we're so. Well, how are we gonna get out of this?" And the next fight, the humans might win. It'll be a back and forth. I don't think they'll have too much of an upper hand, just to keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's a good point. But let's decide who we think's gonna win between Thor and Lubu, and then let's just go through the list because I want people to know. I want us to talk about sort of who's fighting, and then we could give maybe quick predictions after that. But who do you guys think between Thor? You say Thor's gonna win, and what do you think, Cody?
I think Lubu.
You think Lubu? I think Lubu too. My vote's Lubu.
Lubu too?
Lubu too. Electric Boogaloo.
Because he's fighting Thor.
Because he's fighting Thor.
Wow.
Oh my god. Okay, so let me run through all of it just so people who don't know can kind of get a vibe for where this series is going to go, which I'm super excited about. So we have Zeus versus Qin Shi Huang. We have Buddha versus King Leonidas. We have Loki versus Nikola Tesla. We have Apollo.
It's kind of off a little bit.
It's kind of off.
Loki is Nikola Tesla. Apollo is Sasaki Kojiro.
Okay, Poseidon is Raiden. Tamimon. And then we have Susanoo no Mikoto versus Adam. From the famous book, the Bible.
The first character.
The first character.
Yeah. Then we have Thor. Okay, so these aren't in order.
Oh, they're not in order.
They're not in order because Thor. That would mean that Thor is against Grigoro Rasputin.
Okay. Because that order was going to affect my perception of the fights. But at the very least, Lubu versus Thor is first, but we don't know what order will be after that.
Okay, so let me try this one more time. Sorry for everybody watching and listening. But we have on the god side, on the heaven side, we have Zeus, Buddha, Loki, Apollo, Poseidon, Susanoo no Mikoto, Thor, Bishamonten, Anubis, Odin, Beelzebub, and Shiva.
Nice.
And on the human side, we have Qin Shi Huang, King Leonidas, Nikola Tesla, Sasaki Kojiro, Raiden, Tamimon, Adam, Grigori Rasputin, Lubu, Okita Soji, Michael Nostradamus, Simo Haiha, Sakata Kintoki, and Jack the Ripper.
Jack?
What a way to
the dude killed like 5 people. What do you?
Yeah, but I mean, history, maybe gives people more strength because of all the stories that we've told about.
Well, I think that there was a lot of people that he killed. They just never found him.
No, but I think historically they've kind of gone back over time and they realized that it wasn't really that many people, and it might have even been like different people.
Might have been
right?
like copies, like copycats.
Yeah.
Well, it was prostitutes who got stabbed to death. I mean, that's not it's not a rare thing.
Back in the day.
I mean,
it was a bad time.
I mean, but that's, people are still out there killing people.
Yeah, I know that didn't change. But I thought Jack the Ripper was like this crazy guy.
I thought he was a doctor.
I'm basing my thoughts off of Black Butler. Don't mind me. That's my knowledge in anime.
No, they did that. They had him in Assassin's Creed, and like, he was an assassin that went rogue, and that's what. And it's like he killed 5 people.
Yeah, people I'm telling you, people deify history, creates these these larger than life figures.
Wow.
When you go back, you realize this is a really normal piece of shit.
People are making their own fan made one. So we have Athena versus Joan of Arc. Where is it? I don't even know how to pronounce some of these names, but Athena is the first one on the list. Michael Sekhmet, but we have Amelia Earhart, Muhammad Ali, Leonardo da Vinci, Pandora, Florence Nightingale. It's so funny. It's so fun.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
And this is where, and again, sorry we were kind of all over the place for a second, but we're back on track. I fell in love with the series. It was starting to win me over. Every chapter was winning me over more and more and more. But this is where I was like, you got me hook, line, and sinker. Oh, it's that kind of story. I mean, we're going Nikola Tesla. We're going Jack the Ripper. We're going, you know what I mean?
Adam.
We're going Adam. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I have to. Yeah, well, we can't do the bets because that list isn't in order.
No, so we just have to keep reading.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to keep reading, got to keep watching. Which
Or
are you
watching.
guys planning on doing? I know Cody said earlier that he's gonna want to read it, and
When
Megan, you're gonna watch, read.
I
What are you
don't
gonna do?
know.
When does
I
it
mean,
come out?
it comes out next
Next
month.
month. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll read it.
yeah. What about you?
I don't know. The anime looks
The
really
anime looks
good.
really good.
And I feel like it'll be one of those animes that I'm just like looking forward to it coming out every week and just like, you know, what's going to happen. But I do enjoy reading it. It's really fun.
Yeah,
I might read along with watching, you know, just
I
Depends on my
think I'm
mood.
gonna watch. I think I'm gonna watch, but if I can't, depending on where season 1 ends, I might read. But yeah, when I realized that this is what we were doing, this is when I was both feet were in. I was
Yeah.
all the way in because now, and it's so cool that so many fans are making their own sort of brackets. This is what I like. I like that nothing's off limits. We're gonna I'm so excited to see how they're gonna take some of these historical figures. Nostradamus, how are these people going to defeat gods even with these Valkyrie weapons?
I found a list that tells it like who's fighting who.
Oh.
Well, maybe now I don't want it spoiled for me.
Oh, think about that?
Did you think about that?
Did you think about
We
that?
opened to do that.
Did you think about that? Did you think about that?
Did you think about that?
Did you think about that?
But I mean, I don't know if we want to go through every single one. I just feel like that might be a little boring to listen to. Going
No,
down.
it was better to say the names twice.
I mean, we said it a lot.
Oh
yeah,
fuck,
Cody,
he
I
got
forgot.
you.
I forgot I did that on purpose.
He got you.
I forgot that was my plan all along. I forgot before we started
That's a
recording.
great
I was like,
defense.
We should read the. We should
One
read
for the
names.
humans, one for the gods.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I will say the second one was better.
Yeah, but maybe I should have opened with that.
You redeem yourself, Josh.
I hope
Don't
so.
put yourself down.
Thank
Cody's
you,
just trying to
Megan.
get to you. I'm being
are forgiving.
remorseful. Thinking about my
Thinking about others.
underlings.
Well, how about we pick one then? How about
You know what? Let's just read the fucking manga. Who cares?
I just think because once we're gonna start debating it, we're gonna go back and forth, and we're never
Yeah.
gonna stop talking about it because then we're gonna be like, well, I
Well,
think
all right. I will say I pray
Hmm.
that Adam wins. He has to win. I mean, that's our guy.
I just heard a fucking line that it kind of got spoiled for me, but like one of the lines that he says is just so fucking cool. I'm not gonna say it. It's just really cool. I was like, fuck yeah.
just a line though.
A line that he says, but I won't say it.
I'm a little tempted. I'm a little curious.
I'm rooting for Adam, and I mean, you have to root for Nikola Tesla.
I'm rooting for Nikola Tesla.
If he
dude.
loses, I will be like, this stupid.
But I'm gonna keep rooting.
If
for
Nikola
him.
Tesla
I'm gonna keep
doesn't-
reading, but mad.
If Nikola Tesla doesn't win, I might stop reading because a little more Josh lore for whatever reason. I was obsessed with Nikola Tesla.
What?
I read three biographies. I watched every sort of YouTube video about him. Even in the
Wow.
Prestige when there's this like fictional version of him in the movie, I was like, it's got Nikola Tesla. I'm watching it. I was so obsessed with this guy, the way his mind worked. Just him and how, like, speaking to history, how history just kind of turned him into this person that I don't think he really was. I mean, everybody wants to look up to Edison, and there's so many Edison companies, and then you realize through, like, I watch these like History Channel movies about Nikola Tesla, how Edison was like a horrible person.
Yeah, Edison didn't invent the light bulb. He
No.
hired. They say like, oh, he tried 200 times. He didn't. He hired 200 people, and when someone did it, he's like, I got the patent. He didn't. He was a businessman, not an inventor, and that was the difference. Is Tesla was an inventor, not a businessman.
And everybody's canceling everybody. Can we cancel Edison because he was out
Well,
there
that's-
electrocuting dogs in the streets to prove that Nikola Tesla's electricity was
I
harmful?
love that logic of like his lightning will kill dogs. It's like no,
Mine won't.
no one said you can touch electricity.
Yeah.
We all
Mine
know
won't.
that if you touch it, you'll like it hurt. It's like that would be like my fire. Look at his fire. I burned dogs alive using his fire, and it's like we knew that would happen.
Yeah,
what are you
nobody
saying?
said that was not going to happen. Why are you doing
You
this?
killed an elephant, yeah, and yeah, but yeah, I liked like there is a new push that's like pro Edison that's been coming, which I mean, or pro Tesla, which is why we're getting the cars.
Yeah.
They're called Tesla. I mean, that's the ultimate like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Tip of the hat to you, sir.
Yeah.
I mean,
those are cool. I want one.
those
I
are going to
want
be
one, too.
worldwide. The Edison Power Company. It's not like that's like everywhere.
Yeah, man. And speaking of history too, I mean, I love this because we're able to kind of get little bits and pieces of real historical things. Obviously, heavily fictionalized as well, but it's making me want to learn about these people. It's not shoving it down my throat. I find a lot of times when you go back and you really learn, it's like back to the fucking school systems and back to what we're taught and how we're taught it. It's all fucked up, I think. Like,
they should read Record of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And they should watch the anime, dude, in all schools. It should be mandatory.
Yeah, learn about the Greek god of beauty.
A couple chapters on that, please. But yeah, when you're looking at all these people, like the things that you were telling me about Abraham Lincoln, apparently was like invented wrestling or something.
Abraham Lincoln invented the choke slam.
Yeah, and then you look at people like Benjamin Franklin, who was out there fucking all kinds of people. And
he also smoked a lot of pot.
You teach me about these people.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln was about to get into a fight with giant claymores with a guy in a duel on a beach before both of their wives went like, guys, stop.
Yeah, see, why are we omitting this stuff? Why,
Lincoln was a backyard wrestler.
He was a unit.
Oh.
He was a tall man, lumberjack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when you say unit, I thought you were saying like, I thought you maybe had a historical husbando for a second.
No.
No?
I do. I'd have to think about it. I'll get back to you.
And look, even Lincoln, sure. I mean, historically, wasn't the best either. I'm sure there was some things that...
I wasn't the most honest person.
It wasn't the most honest Dave.
No.
But my point is this, that like, it's just so, it's so cool to come across something that takes these characters and puts them in these really cool situations and battling against each other. It's aware of what it is. It's having fun with what it is. It makes me want to learn about who these people are. And especially a lot of people on this list who I don't even know about. Now I'll probably end up going out of my way to learn more about them. Maybe just like, on a surface level, sort of, sure. But like, at least I'll have like some sort of knowledge of these historical important figures. And,
Yeah, I'm hoping they're not more warlords, because Lubu was like, that is like interesting to see, but I don't want them to be all, because it's also more interesting for me like to see like, oh, how's Adam gonna fight? How's Tesla gonna fight? Like if it's a warlord, like, so they're gonna use weapons.
I saw like a sumo wrestler, I think.
Oh yeah, I think they opened up with the most straightforward human fighter. I hope they did.
Maybe like a poet. But I do like that aspect of the story. It's like, it's a good story when like they're introducing characters that you have no idea who they are, and it like intrigues you to want to learn more about them and like go out of your way to do it. And
here's another point that I'll make too. I don't think that is a spoiler. I don't think that list at the end is a spoiler. We danced around it a little bit, but that's just in case other people maybe did consider it a spoiler. But had I known that going into the series, because I do try to not know too. I mean, I do my research on sort of the mangaka, what the volumes are at, things, the basics. But also like sometimes I don't want to know obviously plot details.
Yeah.
Had I known this, going into it, I would have been way more for it from the beginning, from the jump. I did not know what kind of people. I thought they were all going to be fictional warriors. I didn't know they were going to be real historical figures, and I didn't know they were going to be weird. Yeah,
you jumped in bizarrely negative to this series. Like I went in like I probably won't like this, and I immediately was like,
same.
Right, this rules.
Yeah. I had no expectations really, and I was like, okay, okay, okay,
yeah.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah, and so
that is what
that
reading.
Sums it up.
That's how you're gonna feel if you read this manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my plea to people is now that you know that this is where it goes, maybe it'll interest you a little bit more, and you should check it out because, again, if you're just going in not knowing where the story's gonna go, I can see people maybe putting it down after a couple chapters if they don't make it to the end of volume 1. But had I known that, I would have been in from the beginning. So that's where the story's gonna go. People are in love with this series, and I can now I see why.
Yeah, people are saying it's nonstop. Like it's been just nonstop throughout the whole series, which is crazy because most manga don't really do that. It takes fucking 3 volumes to get to the point. So the fact that it's still getting high praise, it's great, and the anime is gonna be fucking awesome. It looks like a great adaptation, so I'm super excited.
Me too.
Super excited.
Do you guys have any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say about the series? Recommending it to people?
If you're like maybe I'm just watch the trailer. I mean that tells you if you're like, what is it really? The trailer did the best job to like capture the feeling of this manga.
Yeah,
it nails the tone.
That song rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The animation looks beautiful, like you said. It's very faithful to the art as well.
Yeah.
I recommend the series now that I finished volume 1. I recommend the series, and I understand why people love it so much. And so I think, you guys should check out Record of Ragnarok because of all the places that it can go. because I'm very, very, very excited to see some of these matchups.
Yeah, I have no
Beelzebub too.
I have no expectations of what's gonna happen. Like I can't even fathom of how it's going to go down, which is awesome because it's like definitely like you're in it. Like you're like, who's gonna fucking win? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that they have abilities or like the weapons and stuff. Like it's anyone's game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're obviously gonna get a little bit of mental. So it's not all gonna be surrounding these Valkyrie weapons. That's gonna give the humans equal footing with the gods, but it's also like their intellect, and they're gonna have to think their way out of a lot of problems, I'm sure too. And I really enjoy that in like tournament arcs when we get clever reasons for why people are winning, and it's not all brute strength and brute force. Like I like when someone has a strategy and they kind of walk me through this like intricate strategy that they've kind of planned. I enjoy reading and watching those kind of things. So I think it goes without saying that we all recommend Record of Ragnarok.
It rocks.
It does rock, Megan. You're absolutely right. It does rock, and you should check it out. If you've already read Record of Ragnarok, let us know what you thought about it. You can let us know in our Discord. You can let us know in the comments down below. You can let us know really wherever you can find us, which you can also find us on Instagram at Volume 1 Pod and all that stuff. And that's it. That's going to do it for our Volume 1 review of Record of Ragnarok. But we're not done yet. We have to get to our beloved segment, the Wonder Circle, where we read comments that you've left on some of our previous videos, and we have Volume 1 Chun kind of scan through the comments, find a couple, and read them aloud to us. So without further ado, Volume 1 Chun, why don't you go ahead and read us a couple comments, please?
This one comes from video games. 10519 to 10552 feels like an actual scene from SXF. Even Megan's proud smile after being praised, lied to, by Lloyd/Josh is so Anya.
Oh shit, that's from our Spy X Family episode.
It's from the second one,
From the second one.
Yeah. So if you go to the Spy X Family video and you click that comment, that timestamp, we rewatched it, and it is so funny because it really is. It's a great observation by video games. I love video games.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. I'm not lied to. It was a good segment.
No, it's a great segment. Megan, I was so proud of you when you came up with that segment.
Yeah, Josh was bizarrely against it. I don't know what
That's not true, dude.
He's always against me.
That's not true, Megan. And also, I want it to come back. Do you have one for this episode?
No.
Can you have one for the next episode? Okay, Volume 1 Chun, hit us with another comment, please.
This one comes from Mackenzie Ford. I think I just have a huge issue with blatant weird sexualization and too much lewdness, but IDK. Could just be me.
And this, of course, from our Nagatoro-san.
What other episode could she be talking about?
Because I thought the writing and what they were going for in that was really good.
I mean, I still have high hopes for it because people are like, it gets so wholesome. Like, you have to keep watching. Just like from the first volume, like how could it become wholesome?
Yeah, I
like,
mean, we've been told by multiple people that the story does sort of start to take a little bit of a turn, and she starts to, care for him a little bit more, and it becomes more obvious.
You've
that
been reading it.
Well, I mean, I sort of, went down this little rabbit hole, and I
still in it, or
I'm still in it, and I don't really know what it was about me. Look, because when we first started talking about the series, I was kind of feeling what Mackenzie was feeling a little bit. I was like, it feels a little too mean. It feels a little too much. It's a little too lewd. And then I sat on it for a while, and people are telling me that it gets a little more wholesome as it goes on, and it starts I start seeing it, and it starts like calling to me, and I sort of became hypnotized.
Have you watched
series.
the anime yet?
I did watch a little bit of the anime.
Oh, okay. I haven't started it.
And it's also a really good adaptation. It's also animated really well, and I thought it was really good. And look, it might be lewd, at least in Volume 1, and it might still continue to be a little lewd. But, I mean, I sort of was over time like really won over by this series, and maybe we'll read a little bit more of it.
Yeah, I gotta pick it up again just because I've been told the same thing, so I'm like, we'll see. Maybe along the lines when I have nothing else to binge or read.
Well, it's great, and they're both very cute.
Okay.
Cody, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I said that in the beginning.
All right, Volume 1 Chun, why don't you hit us with another comment, please? Thank you so much.
This one comes from Boob Trap Yeti. Algorithm engaged. Grass is on. Berserk volume done. More, please. Even long-running series like Berserk or One Piece will get dropped by disinterested reader if the beginning isn't sufficiently engaging. As long as you guys lay out the context, nicely done here. For more established series when making these reviews, I don't see any reason why you can't tackle them in the same way.
Well, Mr. Boob, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Boob. Mr. Boobsan.
Mr. Boobsan, thank you so much. And that was a big sort of worry going into the Berserk episode. And honestly, I was really happy with how people received it, and people seem to really enjoy it.
Yeah, the most negative one was just like, I'm gonna mute this because it's gonna be frustrating to not know the arcs. But I'm still going to watch the video so you guys get numbers. Like, the most negative comment was, like...
super supportive.
Yeah.
Very supportive about it. So far, the Berserk community is very open. At most, they're just... The worst is, like, just finish the arc and then we'll talk.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think, like we were even saying in that episode, I think people just want to know that you're aware of and respect the story and its history, and where, speaking of Record of Ragnarok history,
and records.
And records. And as long as you're aware of it, and as long as you point that out, then I think it's fine to talk about those series. So that was sort of a little, like, not experiment, but it was also sort of an experiment that we were doing to see how reviewing an older ongoing series would be. And because it seemed to go well, it's something that we've talked more about doing. And I think we are going to be doing, obviously, Berserk Volume Done.
And people were like helping us map out how to go about a Volume Done, which is like, you guys are really nice.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of, why don't you go by arcs? It's going to be this chapter, this chapter. I'm like, all right, just...
Because they're like, you don't want to do the whole... they know it's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
Even for us, we're like, oh, yeah. But that's what stopped us from doing it in the beginning, because it's just so overwhelming and so many chapters, so many volumes. But when you just break it down, it's just another manga, baby.
It's just another manga, baby. Arc by arc. You know what I mean?
So true, Megan. So true.
So fucking true. Arc by arc. So we'll probably do the Golden Age arc. And it makes doing things like One Piece now seem a lot more plausible as well. But speaking of Volume Done comments, Volume 1, how many did we get exactly? Did we get a lot?
Hold on, let me check. According to my calculations and numeratics, a shit ton.
Oh,
what an accurate number.
Oh yeah, super accurate.
What an accurate number. No, but truthfully, we want to thank everybody for commenting Berserk Volume Done, because we did get a lot of them, and we are for sure going to be doing it.
So exciting. I mean, I read past the first volume. I think
Same.
I'm like, I honestly might be in the middle of the golden arc, so I'm very excited to keep reading and talk to you guys about it, because it's such a great series.
I'm excited for us to read past where we read, for Cody to read to where we got, and for us to all be able to talk about it. Like, I'm really, really, really excited.
Because the funny part about this is we're not allowed to talk about manga until we do an episode on it. So we don't if we all like a series, we're like, well, when we do an episode, we can talk.
We have to sit
until then. Shut up.
Yeah, I bought manga that I'm like, okay, I'll keep that for a volume 1. And I can't read it yet, and I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm excited, and I can't wait to do it. And since we're having a feel good moment right now, and just talking about Berserk and everything, and experiencing it together with each other and with everybody watching and listening too, I just gotta apologize to Volume 1 Chan. I feel like, in the last episode, Volume 1 Chan, I'm gonna talk directly to you, dude. Who am I kidding?
Dude.
It's a gender neutral term, Cody. Get over it. You were reading a comment in a previous episode, and it was a very complimentary comment towards Cody, yada yada yada, and I got a little upset. I got a little emotional, and I turned you off, which is really the opposite of what I do. I usually turn people on.
It's absolutely
and,
this is her moment, okay? Don't make it about you.
This is not how apologies work.
Sorry about that. And so I really sincerely wanted to take a moment in the podcast to apologize to you. So I'm sorry for turning you off, Volume 1 Chan.
Oh, it's okay, Josh. I totally forgive you. Water under the bridge. Why don't we hug it out? Megan, can you pass me to Josh really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, Volume 1 Chan, for accepting my
By
apology.
the way,
Thank you.
Oh
my God!
And never turn me off again. All right, you can put me back down now.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my god, volume 1. Okay, now
that really hurts.
Now we know that she can harm.
I didn't know she could do that.
No, but it was well deserved. Good job, volume 1.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
It really hurts.
She stood up for herself.
I can smell it. Yeah.
Yeah, your burnt flesh.
Okay, well, I'll never turn you off again, and I don't really think that's how you accept an apology either.
Oh, she's learning. She's an AI.
she's an AI. She's always learning.
And that's a good point. Right? And that's a really good point. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for another episode of Volume 1. But before we go, we have to thank everybody for watching and listening. We have to thank our Patreon members. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the fucking best. We love each and every single fucking one of you.
Daisuki desu.
If you're not a Patreon member and you want to become one, you can do that by going to patreon.com/volume1pod. And if you're not a Patreon member, we love you as well for supporting and watching and listening. We love every single one of you guys. You guys are the fucking best, truly. Like we said when it came to the Berserk comments too.
Yeah.
We just have like the coolest interactions with the coolest people. We love literally each and every one of you guys. And yeah, you guys
rock.
Yeah, you guys.
Honestly,
you guys
though,
rock, and you guys warm my heart.
And you roll.
And that's on record.
And that's on record.
Yep.
And so now all that's left to do is get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes, which today, of course, is
keep
let the battle begin.
Let the good times roll.
with the good times Ragnarok.
I'm gonna.
I want a Ragnarok.
I want a Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Rock.
Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah.
I want a Ragnarok. Rock.
Rock.
No? Okay, fine. Fuck
you know,
me, right?
No, it's just a song, and you know how I feel about it.
Yeah, fuck. God damn it, Josh.
We could do that one.
Oh my god, what a great manga.
Very straightforward. I do like that one.
I have another one.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what a great manga.
Oh my god.
Oh my gods.
Oh my
gods.
Oh my god, what a great manga.
Oh my gods. This manga Ragnaroks.
Okay,
got it.
ready?
That's a punch up.
That was good.
That's the beauty of our.
I'm gonna forget it because you're taking a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And
until next time. Oh my gods. This manga Ragnarok.